Welcome to the Winging It Travel podcast with me, James Hammond, where every Monday I'll be joined by guests to talk about their travel stories, travel tips, backpacking advice, and so much more. Right now, I'm taking the podcast on the road travelling with me, so tune in every week for short form episodes detailing all my travels alongside my Monday guest episode. Are you a backpacker, traveller, gap year student, or simply someone who loves to travel? Then this is the podcast for you. This is a casual, informative podcast designed for you to inspire you to travel. There'll be stories to tell, tips to share, and experiences to inspire. Welcome to the show. Hey, just a quick one. I just want to say there are many ways to support this podcast. You can buy me a coffee and help support the podcast with $5, or you can go to my merch store with the affiliate link with TeePublic, where there's plenty of merch available to buy, such as t-shirts, jumpers, hoodies, and also some children's clothing. Thirdly, which is free, you can also rate and review this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podchaser, or Good Pods. Also, you can find me on social media on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok. Simply just search for Winging It Travel Podcast, and you'll find me displaying all my social media content for travelling, podcasts, and other stuff. Hello, and welcome to this next solo episode. And today I'm going to cover Busan and Gyeongju in South Korea. Maybe two places you've not heard much about. But this episode is the last one of the 5-month backpacking trip that we just completed. So I'm going to cover these two places and then talk about what's happening next. But the overall summary of the trip will be another episode with guest host, unofficially, Rachel Fox. We'll be coming on, we've got some questions from social media, and we'll talk about that trip as a whole. But today, it's Busan and Gyeongju. Now, Busan is in the south of the country in South Korea, and it has beaches. So if you're looking for that beach break, Busan is the place to go. Obviously, we're based in Seoul initially, so we booked a bus. Now, booking a bus in Seoul and South Korea is super easy. Go to any bus station, they have human beings who speak English and can serve you and give you the ticket, or they have ticket machines. Alternatively, you can book online, but we found that extremely difficult and much easier to go in person. And of course, you can get the bullet train down to Busan, but it's double the price. The price of the bus is $37,800, so it's around 38 Canadian dollars, and it takes about 4 to 4.5 hours with one 15-minute break. In and out, get your toilet break done, get your coffee, back on the bus, away you go. And there's no stops straight through. But the price can vary depending on the type of comfort you want. This was just a normal bog standard ticket. So real comfy seats, big seats, loads of space, storage, everything you need. You can book one for another $4,000 more. It's a premium model. Not sure what that offers, but it must be amazing because the one we got was super, super comfortable. We went to the main Seoul bus station. We booked the ticket in advance, I think a day in advance. Got it for the morning, I think 10:30 we left. And we arrived into Noppo subway station in Busan 4.5 hours later, right on time, no messing about. And this bus station in Busan is on the end of a subway line. So you're lucky there, pop on the subway line and get into Busan Central. Now, we were staying in an area called Ganjeon. Now, this area is more industrialized, a lot of car places there, big roads, not very busy, not touristy, but it is next to Sasang, which is the traditional bustling sort of Asian area with like restaurants, cafes, shopping, all that sort of stuff. And that's about a 20-minute walk between the two. And we're staying at a hotel called Hotel Prima. We booked a hotel because it seemed to be the best value that we could find on Booking.com and Hostelworld. It gave me about 60% off because I'm a Genius member, and it cost roughly about $45,000 a night. A super awesome hotel, like proper hotel, comfy beds, huge room. You got your TV, the bathroom's amazing. Everything you can think about, it's in there. And in terms of location, you are a 10-minute walk from the subway, and there's nothing around the area. You either walk to Sasang or you just get the metro into Busan Central. This hotel does come with a breakfast between 7:30 and 9:30, I believe, and it's super awesome and lots of choice and also quite westernized, so you'll be lucky there. They also have all-day ramen. If you want the ramen, you get your ramen packet, and there's a little like stove there, get your water on the go, boil it up, get your ramen in there, and it's a free meal during the day. As we got in quite late, we didn't do anything the first day, but the next day, we plan to get down to the beach. So we're going to go for a brunch first, and this place I would highly recommend is called Little Oz. Yes, it's Australian themed, but they have vegan, vegetarian and Aussie meat options for brunch, and it was sensational. You're paying Western prices, you're paying around 20,000 for that and a coffee, so that's about 20 Canadian dollars, but it's situated in the Gwengali beach area. Then after that we walked down to the beach, and the beaches are sensational, super clean, almost white sand. It was a super hot day. They've got shady areas on the grass just behind the beach. You can get, if you're lucky and it's not too busy, an umbrella and stay on the beach too. Get your sun cream out, you're going to need it. And it's just such a nice boardwalk around the beach, super awesome. And we stopped off at a cafe called Casa Busano, which had aircon, but it opened its doors out and you can sit at the front with a cup of coffee and have a view of the beach. I mean, is there anything better? I don't know. Enjoyed that for an hour or two. Then we walked along the beach and we decided to go to the next beach along, which is called Hongdae Beach, which is slightly bigger buildings, bigger beach, bigger area. And we picked a grass area in the shade by the beach, had a little picnic right next to the beach. Super, super awesome. All the amenities are there, your toilets, 7-Elevens, your convenience stores, restaurants, cafes, all the options are there. Real clean, real nice, and just super easy. And you can get the metro to either place too, on the Green Line, which is I think number 2 line, and it all goes along there, each one, and you can just get off at any point and pretty much walk to any of those beaches. Would highly recommend this area. Great to chill out. If we had more days in Busan, we would have gone back there. Very much enjoyed ourselves there. For dinner, we popped back into the city near the Lotte Mall or department store, and I think this is probably the CBD of Busan. And the metro line is Seonmyeong. Don't know how to pronounce that right. It's on the Green Line. You can't fail to miss it. Very busy area. So many options. Just a super cool area to walk around and people watch and stuff like that. But we chose a vegan restaurant called Daejeon Cafe. Super cool restaurant because they run out of food and that's it, they close. And there's a curfew for how long you can stay there in terms of they close at 7:30 I think, or 6:30 for ordering food. But it's in one of those buildings where there's no English signs and it's up the 4th floor. So you got to find it. And it did take us a while, but opposite is 7-Eleven. Again, you got to whack this in Google. I'll spell it for you, Daejeon, and you'll see like a green sign on the wall and it's up there. Probably doesn't explain too much for you, probably doesn't even make it easy for you, but honestly, if you put it in Google and you're trying to find it, that might help you a little bit. Fantastic dinner. Had a vegan bibimbap and ramen. Super awesome. Great food. And it's a family vibe. And comfy seats, great views, really nice. And there's a balcony as well, you can sit outside if it's not too hot. Next morning, we went back to the same area, had some admin to do. We've done some laundry, if you want a recommendation for laundry, in Busan called Wash and Joy Self Laundry, just behind that Lotte department store. It's coin operated, easy instructions, got that done. In the meantime of the washing, we checked out a coffee place called Sugamo. So coffee Sugamo is super trendy, and we thought we made a mistake because it's like a I don't know, upper class cafe. They come and serve you in these like weird cups and all this sort of stuff. But the coffee was sensational and it was normal price, and I would highly recommend it just to go and see it. So coffee Sugamo. And for lunch, we went into Lotte Mall because they have a food court down there. Unbelievable amount of options. I think it's 2 floors worth. You've got pastries, you've got Asian food, and there's some Western food down there as well. Very meat heavy. We found a few things that were vegetarian. I think I got like a chow mein style chicken thing. And Emma got some pastries from the French patisserie down there. So that has an amazing food court if you want some options. And of course, if you want to do some shopping, it's got all the names in there. Expensive brands to low-cost brands. It's a super, super mall and with aircon. And to finish the day, we've done a bit of research. And there's a cafe near the Seminyon subway station called Coffee 9. And it's an award-winning barista who owns that. Unfortunately, he wasn't there at that store because he's based in Seoul at the same name. So the guy who owns the cafe is the award-winning barista, and he has a course about how to be a barista. And the guy who was serving us coffee took that course, passed it, it's got a certificate in the shop. It's a real small shop, but the coffee was absolutely sensational and cheap. I think I'd said before, South Korea coffee is probably about 5,000, which is about $5 a coffee. These guys are doing it for 2.5 and 3, and they have it on a sign. So if you want a cheap coffee, but it's amazing, probably one of the best ones I had in South Korea, go and check out Coffee 9. So that's kind of Busan first. We do come back to that in a second, but we decided to do a day trip at Gyeongju. Now, Gyeongju in South Korea is known amongst locals and probably some international tourists as like the traditional area of South Korea. And it's got a whole area of greenery, mounds and hills. It's well kept. There's like South Korean traditional houses and villages. Nothing's built big, so it's not like a big city. Small time city, almost a small town feel. Amazing architecture, amazing scenery and walkways, and there's a river there. This is a place you've got to check out. You can get a bus there from Busan. So we were staying in the Sesang area, went to Sesang bus station, 9,000 one way, so 18,000 return. It takes an hour, and you won't regret this place. I actually wish we stayed there. But day trip, got there early, and there's a plethora of things to see and do. First off, get out of the bus station and go and take a walk to Walk Coffee. You won't regret that. A super trendy coffee place on the main street. Fantastic. Got aircon as well. And I'm going to list all the sites that we saw. But if you go into Google Maps right now and put in Gyeongju, you'll see like just like bits of green land. These are like walkways and parks that you can walk in, shaded too. And it reminded me of New Zealand because it has rolling green hills and mounds. And there's like loads of tombs in there and walkways of traditional villages. It's really a cool area. So I'll read them off for you. Please forgive my South Korean pronunciation, but here we go. Darungwan Tomb, worth checking out. The Royal Tomb of King Michu. Walleong Bridge, that's got a fantastic architecture to it. You've got to check that out. Gyeongju Gyeongjan Traditional Village. Again, you walk through this village, super peaceful, traditional buildings, nice little signposts, and like little cafes and restaurants in there and shops to buy stuff. And Gyeongrin Forest, it kind of is to the side of these villages, and it's just a walkway through like this nice forested area, lots of trees and stuff. Hwang Gongsu Temple, that's a fantastic temple site. And also, this is going to be difficult, Cheongse Gondao. These are sites you put in Google Maps, you'll find, just put Gyeongju in there, they're all clustered in the same area. And we weren't sure where we could see all these, but actually if you look on the map right now, all that area we did do in a day, and it was super hot as well, 35 degrees. Couple that with some breaks, some water breaks, some lunch, you definitely can do all that. We also saw like a traditional parade. These young kids, probably like teenagers I'd imagine, and there's this one girl in this carriage being carried by 4 or 6 guys, and it's to depict the traditional queen of the village. And that last place I mentioned, I'm not going to pronounce it again, is supposedly the tallest observatory building in Asia. It's a bold claim. I think some people say it's the first astronomical observatory in Asia, so there's a bit of information to find about that. Definitely worth seeing that. But these sites are super cool, easy to walk around, would recommend them. If you want lunch recommendation, there's a place called Bageler. They do fantastic savoury and sweet bagels, not too expensive, between 3,000 for a bagel that's plain, up to maybe 8 if you want loads of fillings. And they do great coffee and cold drinks. That's right in the middle of those and worth a chill out time. And also, if you walked around the Wolji Pond, there's a National Museum there of Gyeongju. We didn't go in it because we didn't have time. And not too expensive, I don't think, and you can go in there and enjoy all the local artifacts and stuff like that. But we walked along the river after that and done a loop of the whole place, and it was a fantastic day out. And one place I would highly recommend. If you want to see more, I think I've got some photos on my Instagram of that. And I've got a really cool photo of a couple just walking with an umbrella, and it's like green fields all around. It's pretty amazing. Then we got a bus back to Busan in the evening. And these two places are places I did not know much about, but Busan is fantastic if you want a beach break, good weather, chilled vibe, not too busy compared to Seoul, but enough going on to keep you entertained. And Gyeongju is a traditional place to get your traditional Korean fix. It's a fantastic 3 or 4 days that in the south. Loads more to see in Korea. It's a fantastic place. And I'd also probably go back and go see all the other places because there's just so much to go and see and do. This country surprised me. I'll wrap it up properly in the summary episode, which is coming with Rachel Fox, but I can't recommend it enough. Fairly pricey. You're going to have to pay Western prices, but great coffee, easy transport for metro, trains and buses. People are super nice. Great for meat eaters, not so great for vegans or vegetarians, but you can get by. So that's Busan and Gyeongju. Again, social media will have some photos of that. I might even do a reel accompanying this audio solo episode, so check out my social media for that. And what's coming next is a summary of the backpacking trip. Also in that episode with Rachel Fox, I'm going to explain what's next for the travels. The travels do continue, but a very, very, very different type of travels. And then after that is the next part of the travels, and solo episodes will continue. So thanks for tuning in. It's been a great 5 months. I've seen a heck of a lot, and it'd be cool to wrap it all up in the next guest episode with Rachel Fox. Cheers for tuning in.